everybody, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you are new here. My name is Kelso and I'm a 24, almost 25-year-old budgeter here on YouTube. I've been trying the cash envelope system for a little under 2 years on and off, but 2023 is going to be my year of sticking to it and really crushing down some debt, as I am on a freedom to be debt-free, as well as me and my fiance, we have some pretty big savings goals for the next couple of years. So if you like personal finance, debt-free, and savings challenge content and cash envelope stuffings, please continue watching. Now, I know that I always say this pretty much on the beginning of every single one of my videos, but I'm pretty talkative, which can make my videos a little bit longer than need be. So I'm really going to try to jump right into it. So I have a couple updates for you guys. One of those being that I am no longer at my previous job. If you've watched a video or two of mine before, you may have heard me mention that I am a Medicare insurance broker, and I was working with a brokerage company where I had a full-time position that I was getting paid bi-weekly. Now, if you've seen any of my latest videos, you would notice that I did have, I was sick at one point, and then I lost my voice shortly after being sick. My cat was hospitalized, and we've been watching him because he has a urinary disease, and this emergency could end up happening again where we would have to take him in, and the really big conversations being had on his health. So I've missed a decent amount of work in the last 2 to 3 weeks on and off again. With that being said, my previous position at this brokerage company, they are very strict on attendance, and I missed a lot of days that were not necessarily always covered. Their attendance policy is also, it doesn't cover any medical days. That's still, an occurrence, and so on and so forth. So I came to the conclusion I had been looking for another position anyways within my field, but I came to the position, an opportunity was brought to me for a new position. And so I've started there. I've been doing the welcoming and introduction process of that new position actually this week. So I will be starting to get my first paycheck from this new position come next Friday, the first Friday of April. I believe that's April 7th. I am still getting paid the same amount, and I also am still going to be a full-time work-at-home employee. So there really won't be much of a difference as far as my paychecks each week. I'm just going to be, number one, getting paid on a different Friday. So we'll have to adjust. Previously, my fiance and I were getting paid on opposite Fridays, which kind of worked perfectly because I would budget for 2 weeks and then she would, cover expenses for another 2 weeks outside of our main bills that we would split each month in half. So now we're going to be getting paid on the exact same Fridays, which could be a great thing or a bad thing. Either way, I'm looking at it as a great way. But, there's still adjustments that need to be made as we go into this new period and go through this new transition. So number one, this paycheck is a lot smaller for me. I only got paid $636. That's the number one takeaway here, which is why some of the finances will look a little wonky for a little while here. But so thankfully, it looks a little wonky, or I missed some days at a time where all of our March expenses were already paid for. And in my eyes, this paycheck was like a bonus check anyways. So that worked out perfect. But then where it's going to get a little iffy is technically my first paycheck of April will be only for a few hours, as the only thing that I'm getting paid for this week are for the few hours that I went through orientation on Monday. I had to go into the office to pick up all of my equipment for like 3 hours, and then I had my a introductory period. Today we had 4 hours that we had to clock in. So I'm only going to get paid for less than 2 days of work. So, you know, that's not 2 weeks worth of pay. So I really have to do as best that I can to budget out, or we do as a couple, because it's going to be a little bit tight in the month of April. But, you know, once we get that second paycheck in April, it's going to be back to normal. So, or we're going to at least have back to normal income. Overall for the month, we might be playing a little bit of catch up, but come May, it's going to be right back to where we were, which is perfect. So, I got paid $636 for this paycheck, which is my last check from my current position or my previous position. Talitha is my fiance, and she is paying, or she gave me $255 that went towards the March bills, which I never even pulled out because it needed to be paid. So we went ahead and just paid it. So that was an all electronic funds. Now, if we were to count that up together, we have 636. Oops. I have a little bit of something here. Okay. 636 plus 255. So we had a total of $891 that we were working with for this paycheck. Again, if you're new here, my fiance and I get paid on opposite paychecks. I budget all of the daily cash, variable expenses, savings, and savings challenges myself with my own income, unless she gives me extra money that she wants to put towards certain things. And I budget daily cash for 2 weeks, and then when it's her turn to get paid, she would, you know, pay for any groceries or household items that we would need during that time. Bills, we split in half. So that was what she gave me, was her half of the bills. So she gave me $255, a little bit over technically than what she needed to give me, but that's okay. I believe one of the bills actually was a little bit more than it was supposed to be. So that worked out perfect. So that's already taken care of as far as bills. Now, subscriptions, I did budget to put aside $10, but as this check is a little bit smaller than it normally is for a bi-weekly paycheck, I didn't actually have the funds to put towards it. Plus, the subscriptions already hit me, and when I wasn't even expecting it. So, and I believe it was on a credit card, which I really didn't want to happen, but, you know, we'll pay it off as soon as I get my next regular check. Now, phone bill does have a little bit that I need to put towards for April, just to cover myself. Again, like I said, my next paycheck, my first paycheck of April, is probably going to be about under $200, which is insane to even think of. But we're going to have to do what we can do. So I'm trying to put as much as I can to cover my half of the bills that's going to come up in the first half of April, if that makes sense. So phone bill is going to be $46 that I'm putting aside. I didn't budget anything for it because I wasn't expecting, you know, this change necessarily this quickly. But thankfully, God willing, I was able to, and it worked out. So while it's going to be a little tight for the first couple weeks, we're going to be working with it. So I put 46. For anybody who doesn't understand, our phone bill for the month of April, I believe, was going to be $189. And then I would divide that by 2 because it's me and my fiance. So it would be $94.50 that I'll end up paying for the month of April. But because I get paid bi-weekly, I divide that by 2. And that would be $47.25. So it's actually supposed to be 47. But I believe... No, we'll just go ahead and put it. I'm not quite sure why I had 46 then. We'll put 47. And then I'll put 48 the next time. Okay, so in total for bills for this paycheck, we are putting $255 plus 47. Again, the $255 has already been paid, but the total for that would be $302. Okay, so to figure out what we have remaining, we would take the total income, $891 minus $302, which is how much we're paying in bills. We have $589 left to work with. Now, for debt snowball, I do have $90 set aside for the month of March that I will be making an extra debt payment towards that Credit One credit card to get it right back down, because we're not playing with that one. I had $90 set aside, but I just wanted to go ahead and make it an even $100. So we're going to go ahead and pay $10 or put $10 towards debt snowball. I wish it was more, but again, we're working with a tight budget for this paycheck. So I'm only putting 10 for right at this moment, which would give us a total in debt snowball of 10. And a 589 minus 10 is 579. So that's how much we're left working with. Now, most of this paycheck is going to go towards daily cash because we're thinking about the necessities at this point. With the daily cash, I did go ahead and already give my fiance $30 for gas because she needed it for her tank this morning. So I gave that to her this morning before she left. And the rest of these sinking funds are actually, or the rest of these expenses for our daily cash are going to be exactly the same. So exactly what we budgeted is what we're going to put. Typically, they do stay the same. This is what I found is our bare minimums that we can get away with. I know for some it may seem, for certain of them, it's still kind of a lot. But for us, if I don't put at least this amount, we're going to end up spending it anyways, and it's going to go on credit cards or coming out of funds that it shouldn't be. Actually, it still is just the bare bones for us, and sometimes, a lot of times, we do overspend, and I'm not sure if that's on we need to get more focused and not overspend and get stricter with what we purchase, or if I'm just not being realistic with these numbers yet. But this is what works for us at this time, that we're at least somewhat able to get away with. So especially for this bare bones paycheck breakdown, we're going to give us at least the minimums here. So to add that all up, we have $200 for groceries, plus $30 for gas, plus $30 in household, plus $30 in eating out, plus $25 for personal spending, which is actually lower, $25 lower than what I typically do. So I feel like, hey, I at least did that. And then $50 for date night. So we have $365 that we are putting towards daily cash, which, like I said, is exactly what we budgeted. So we're going to take our total that we had left, which was $579 minus $365, and we have $214 left to work with. Now for our variable expenses, pets is going to get $20. Stock up, which is basically a sinking fund for any time I find something on a good deal, a good coupon, or on clearance maybe, that's something that's a necessity for the house. I can use that fund to purchase those things at that time. So we're going to put $10 there. But hygiene still has a little bit of money left in it, so that one's fine for right now. Health, I wish I could put something, but again, we're going to have to skip that one. And the same goes for car maintenance. So the total is $30 that we're spending in our variable expenses. So again, we're going to take the remaining total, which was $214 minus $30, and we have $184 that we have left. Now, one of my non-negotiables for 2023 is my car fund. I initial goal was to get that car fund and to have my first car purchased for myself before my 25th birthday, because that's something that's really been on my heart. With everything, with the pet emergency, and then, using all of my taxes for that, and then trying to catch up on expenses because we spent so much and we've been spending so much on little Mr. Cheeto just to make sure that he's healthy. He has the medicine that he needs. He's been in and out of the doctor's office, or the vet's office. So even though he was hospitalized twice during this whole thing, he's been back and forth at least once, if not twice, every week for the last 3 weeks, just because it's been a very serious situation. And each time we go to the vet, it's at least like $100 between medicine, testing, and this and that. So it's been a lot. But one of my non-negotiables has been to continue to put at least 2 numbers that I scratch off or that I pick off from my platinum challenge. And once I hit that amount, I'm going to purchase my car. As I've said in previous videos, if maybe I can find a cash car or a used car that's under $4,000, I can always go ahead and use the money that I have set aside for that, and then use the rest as I continue to finish that Platinum X or Platinum Challenge from Pink X Budgets. I can continue to use that as a fund for car insurance if I have to have one. I'm trying not to. Not car insurance. I need car insurance. I have to have car insurance. I meant car payments. So for car insurance, car payments, the registration costs, and any decor or things that I want to get for the car, I continue to use that as a fund for the car. But the long story short, the non-negotiable is to still continue to put at least 2 numbers that I pick from that challenge every paycheck. And so that's going to go towards our savings challenges, which for this week is going to be $150. And we've almost got $1,000 in there. So guys, I'm so proud of myself, and I'm going to continue. Like I said, if I can find a cash car for $2,000, maybe I can't buy it by my birthday because it's May 8th, but maybe I can. I still have a whole month left, and I'm not going to limit myself to what I can and can't do, And I'm also going to continue to push, and once ever I have those funds and once ever I have that car, the opportunity to get the right car, not just a car, I'm going to do it, and I'll have the funds there to do it. So I'm perfectly happy with that. So we're going to put 150, and so 184, which is what our leftover was, minus 150 is $34. So $34 is what is going in sinking funds, which is definitely less than what I budgeted, but hey. So 34 plus 150 was that total of 184, and there is nothing remaining, you guys. We always work on a zero-based budget, give every single dollar a job. Now, in sinking funds, to break it down, again, we have $34, so let me write that down here. We have $34 that we're working with. Now, here's the caveat. I want to make sure that I put money aside for my nails. I don't need them right at this moment, which is why I kind of don't want to put the money there. But I'm like, a little bit goes a long way. Or should I put the money towards my gifts envelope, because our niece has a birthday, her 5th birthday, coming in just like 2 weekends from now. I know I have $20 set aside in there, but I want to have at least $50. If I'm being honest here, my nieces and my nephew will be spoiled. My nieces have already been spoiled, and we spend definitely over $50. But I'm also thinking that I'll probably use the majority of my next week's paycheck, that little check, to buy her gift. But I'm trying to decide. I do know that for Chasing Rainbows, my event rental business, my event planning business, I do need to put $20 here because I have a bill that needs to be paid. So that takes away the majority of it. So we have 34 minus 20, which is 14. And so what we'll do what we will do is we'll go ahead and put 4 in nails. Such a small amount, but we'll put 4 in nails, and we'll put the remaining 10 in gifts. Because again, I don't need my nails done. I got a dip this time, and they actually have not grown out too bad yet. And I really think I'm going to hit at least a month with these. It's only been 2 weeks. So I think I should be able to have time to put that money aside. I should. So minus 10, minus 4, and that's 0. So just to double check everything, our remaining or our income was $891. The bills, we put $302. So let's go ahead and do that. $891 minus $302. Extra debt payments, we put $10. For our daily cash, I know we kept it the same. Oops, let's subtract this 10. And then the daily cash, we kept the same at $365. And the same with our variable expenses, we kept the same at $30. And with the savings challenges, we kept it the same at $150. Which is why we had a remaining of $34 in sinking funds. And that's nothing left over. So that's our breakdown, you guys. Like I said, this paycheck is definitely a little bit harder to manage because we weren't really working with too much. And again, our daily cash kind of took the majority of it, as well as bills. But I hope you guys enjoyed seeing how I break down even the smaller paychecks and how I make them work for myself. Like I said in the beginning of this video, or at some point in the video, this was an extra check in the end. It was a third paycheck for March. It helps me because next week I'm going to have a shorter paycheck as I get the new job and I adjust to that. But it's still technically an extra payment or an extra paycheck in March. So we're doing what we need to do to focus and to make the budget work. The money's there, the bills are paid, and at the end of the day, that's the most important. The bills are paid and we have money to live, and then we'll work on savings as we go forward. But I hope that you guys like this video. If you guys are liking the type of content that you've been seeing from me, please go ahead and tell me about it in the comments below. Also, I don't know what I was doing, but I never really asked you guys how your day's going. I hope you have been having an amazing week. Tell me a little bit about it down below. Do you have any amazing plans for the summer? Any fun ideas to do during the summer? Cheap ideas, anybody? Summer ideas on a budget. If you have those for me, leave them down below, especially if you're in the Florida area. Doesn't matter where. My fiance and I, we like to drive. So even the close states to Florida, I could do that. But thank you guys so much for watching to the end of this video. I hope you guys have an amazing rest of your week or weekend if you're watching this during the weekend. And I look forward to seeing you in our next cash stuffing. Bye, guys. Peace out.